a video on this cheap white rice. So it used to be alright, it's not anymore. It's all like broken up and not very good. It's still the same price, and obviously the quality of it's come down, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have some uses. So I was at work and it was rice pudding, and I forgot to look at my recipe for rice pudding, so I did a quick Google search and I pulled up the rice pudding recipe from a reputable place, and it didn't work. It didn't work. There was far too much milk to rice ratio, so I ended up pulling out some of the milk, and then I normally cook my rice in a double boiler, so a pan inside of a pan. So this pan inside of this pan full of water, and then the rice pudding in this pan. So then this is a story of how to save yourself from rice pudding disaster. Then put this pan directly onto the gas and cooked it like a risotto because I was running out of time. And then I kind of thought, well, what I'll do is, if the rice absorbs, needs some more milk, I'll simply put the milk back in that I've taken out. But it didn't. It worked out kind of quite well. So a comparison in the recipes. So for the recipe that I followed, for every litre of the new recipe, the recipe that I googled, would be a litre of milk, 150 grams worth of rice, and 75 grams worth of sugar. Some butter as well, but I don't think the butter would have made a blind bit difference. My recipe is, for a litre of milk, it would be 225 grams worth of rice, so like 75 grams more of rice, so like a third more, well, 75 grams more, hence why there wasn't enough, there was too much liquid for the rice. So this milk was left over, that had been infused with the flavour of the milk, of the rice and the sugar, and I tasted it and it was delicious. And I kind of thought to myself, I'd like to recreate that. I'd like to flavour some, and it thickened up as well. So it was a little bit thicker than normal milk once it had gone cold, and it was sweeter, and it had that fragrant taste of rice. Anyone who kind of says that rice hasn't got any flavour, it has. It's got quite a fragrant flavour. It's certainly something like jasmine rice, but this is just the cheap white rice that we're using. So it turned it into this kind of quite nice, milky, creamy, sweet, ricey flavoured drink, and I kind of thought, that's kind of quite interesting. We might just have to replicate that. And this is what always happens when I don't film things. Something interesting happens. So I thought we'll replicate it. Also, so I remember watching a show on Netflix, and it was one of those, I think it was chef's tables shows or something like that. And there was this chef, and what she'd done is she'd taken the milk from cereal, so like cereals like this. I don't really buy cereals. I got this for free from Lidl, so I just kind of thought, alright. It was one of those offers where it was spend a certain amount of money and get something for free. And so I kind of thought, we'll buy some of those out of interest. And what she does is she kind of soaks cereals in milk, and then uses the milk in desserts, so they kind of take on the flavour of the cereals, which is generally the best bit, isn't it? So like anything like Cocoa Pops, the chocolate milk was always the best bit once it had soaked all the flavour out of the Cocoa Pops. So we're going to replicate this, and because I know it's going to taste nice, a flat flavour of milk is going to be nice. I kind of thought we'll do two versions, just to kind of see if we can improve it slightly and make a more interesting milky drink. So this first one I've done, so it's 150 grams worth of rice, and it's going to be 75 grams worth of sugar, and it's going to be a litre of milk. I have toasted the rice, so I don't think you'll really be able to kind of see, but that's, you will in comparison. So I've toasted the rice, because I kind of thought what that'll do is that will give it a bit of a toasty flavour to the rice, and that will go into the milk. And for the sake of just toasting the rice in the bottom of the pan first, we get that extra bit of flavour. So, double boiler, that can go in there like that, and then, not the sugar yet, this is half the milk, and I need to weigh out the other half of milk. I really should have boiled the milk beforehand, but you know, no one's perfect, and I get fed, in all honesty, I get fed up with the amount of washing up that I have to do. So I try and cut down on the amount of washing up. Ordinarily what I would do is I would boil the milk first, then add the rice and sugar, and then put it in the double boiler. But it'll just be a slightly slower process today. But anyway, so now turn that up now. It'll start to heat through. We've got a spoon. Yes, I've got a spoon. So, but this time we'll just have it on for, once it gets up to temperature, we'll just have it on for an hour, and then that'll give the time, the milk time to the rice to infuse into the milk and thicken up slightly, and then we'll strain it out. I don't think we'll do anything with the rice afterwards because the quality of the rice is not particularly very good anymore, sadly. But anyway, and then so we'll do this version with the toasted rice, and then we'll do another version and we'll put some cardamom pods in with the milk, because like cardamom custard is really nice. So if you're making a custard tart, flavouring the cream or milk with cardamom is lovely. Same with turmeric as well. I kind of thought we've got that. That's been in the cupboard for far too long, so I thought we'll use up some cardamom, and I do like a bit of cardamom milk. So if you're wanting if you're a fan of a milky drink and you haven't got anything in the house like Horlicks or hot chocolate or anything like that, what you can do is a couple of cardamom pods smashed up into the milk as you bring it up to the boil, and then strain it out, and you just get this lovely flavour of cardamom. So probably need a little bit more water in there. We'll just keep an eye on it, but we'll have it on for an hour, and then we'll repeat the process with the cardamom, and then we'll let it cool down. We'll give it a taste and see what it's like. I have cooked them. I have strained them. Had to add some more milk to them. I got sidetracked twice, so I ended up the rice cooked more than I actually wanted it to do. So therefore, it absorbed more of the milk than I wanted it to do. My sister phoned and something else happened. Oh yeah, my sister phoned, and then someone else phoned on both occasions. So I've had to faff around with them. But so this is the one that was just rice, and it's certainly thickened up. It's certainly thickened up. I can smell the toasted rice, and then this is the one with cardamom. This is thickened up even more. That's probably down to me faffing around with it more than anything else, more than thinking that the cardamom has done something to thicken it up, and the rice has, the toasted rice one is not as thin because I toasted the rice. Although potentially that may have happened. Maybe cooking the toasting the rice did something to the starch. So how's it taste? It's really nice, is that? That's really nice, is that? How's the cardamom one? Nice and thick. That's lovely, is that? It's really creamy. It's really creamy. Which obviously it will be because it's thickened up with the starch from the rice. So I have no idea what use they are whatsoever. So, but as a drink, to my mind, that's really kind of quite lovely. Maybe not as much sugar next time. If I decide, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It was just an idea that I've got. Maybe less sugar. But it's like a milkshake. It's got that feel of a milkshake. When a milkshake starts to, like a McDonald's or a Burger King milkshake, when they start to melt, and they're still cold together, and they're still thick. It's got that kind of consistency. It's really nice. But obviously it's not as full of ice and that cold, but it's still got that consistency. It's got the bit like a lassie, but a non-fruity lassi. I think it's really nice. I have no idea what practical use whatsoever that will be, or if I could do anything with it. It might be kind of quite an idea to use it as like a cream substitute type of thing, but I'll have a kind of think. I did think what I would do is not the cardamom one, but the rice one. I think I'll add some yogurt culture to that, and I'm going to make some yogurt tomorrow. So we'll see if it turns into yogurt by adding a little bit of yogurt culture. So we'll heat that up, put it in a flask, add some yogurt culture, and then kind of check on it in the morning. I'm reluctant to use the cardamom one because some spices are antiseptic, and if something's antiseptic, it means it's potentially going to kill any kind of bacteria that's good, bacteria that's bad. So I think it'd be a bit of a waste with the cardamom one, because I don't know if cardamon's antiseptic. But anyway, we'll try it with the ricey one, and then we'll kind of see if it turns into yogurt, and what kind of yogurt, if it's thicker. That'd be kind of quite interesting, wouldn't it? So we'll try that, and we'll be back in the morning. Let's have a look at this, see if it has formed into a yogurt. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I think it has. I think it has. Yeah, it's definitely formed a yogurt. It's definitely formed a yogurt. So, how does it taste? Oh, it's sweet, which I don't really like sweet yogurts, but it's certainly formed a yogurt. So that's interesting, isn't it? So it will have, and also it'd be thicker as well. So we now know that we can use rice to thicken yogurt and get a thicker, creamier yogurt. I don't normally just strain my yogurts through a cloth to get rid of some of the whey, but that works. I'm not entirely sure it works with the toasted rice flavour in it, and I don't particularly like sweet yogurt. I like a sharp yogurt, but it works, which is interesting. So there we go. That's a little interesting experiment. I don't know what kind of use that is whatsoever, but it certainly makes use of that cheap rice that even after you cook it is still hard. It's just not as good as it used to be. But same experiment, faffing around, can be replicated with different types of rice. So you get something like a jasmine rice, which is really fragrant. You pick up even more kind of flavour into the rice. So interesting, and therefore a success.